Hurricane Idalia making landfall on Florida's Gulf Coast over 6 hours ago. Good afternoon. I'm Sharon Chow. That Category 3 storm bringing catastrophic storm surge and flooding to Florida's Big Bend region and destructive 120-mile-an-hour winds knocking out power for thousands. Christian Benavides has more from Crystal River, Florida, about 80 miles north of Tampa.
So far it's holding, but the water just keeps coming.
Idalia's powerful and in some places record-breaking storm surge is submerging parts of Florida's Gulf Coast.
The whole front building in the faraway end where the swings were just came apart.
Homes and streets in Cedar Key are now underwater from a surge forecasters say could hit 16 feet high. At least 230,000 homes lost power.
Our power crews have already restored over 100,000 accounts overnight in the last 8 hours.
Tampa was spared a direct hit, but is feeling the impact. Water is spilling over the city's causeway, and there's also significant flooding on the streets of St. Petersburg.
Here in Crystal River, we've been experiencing bands of rain and fierce wind as the storm moves through. Now everyone is watching the water and how high it will go.
Unfortunately, we've not seen the worst of what the storm's impacts are going to be for Citrus County.
Even though Idalia is now moving over land, forecasters warn the storm is still a major threat.
We're going to see, not just the storm surge, but potential for, damaging winds extending well inland all the way across portions of North Florida into southern Georgia.
Idalia has gained speed and is expected to be in Georgia and South Carolina before day's end.
And we are taking a live look in South Carolina, where, as Christian said, Idalia is heading. Coming up in 15 minutes, we'll check back and chat with Christian live in Crystal River, Florida. Right now, several groups from Texas already on the ground there in Florida. They're ready to help. Stephanie Whitfield joining us live with more on that part of the story. Stephanie.
Sherman, there were a few days, luckily everyone had a few days to get a plan in place. So several organizations left earlier in the week, and they're already in Florida on standby. Now, one of those nonprofits is DRRS, which stands for Disaster Recovery Response Specialist. They left the Houston area yesterday, and this was their view this morning as they hunkered down waiting for the eye of the storm to move through. Chris Fontaine tells me they're ready to step in and do whatever is needed today.
This is going to be a lot of chainsaw work, just because the amount of trees that are in the area, and it's going to be a lot of. We'll probably be clearing roads so that the federal teams and local fire departments can focus on taking care of the communities.
The Cajun Navy, another group of volunteers, is in Florida too, and you may remember they helped us a lot after Hurricane Harvey. They have boats and rescue teams with drones staged and ready to go. Now, the Cajun Navy also has 18-wheelers full of supplies which are going to hit the road today, so it's been a pretty incredible volunteer response in a very short amount of time. Sherman?
All right, thank you, Stephanie. And let's take another live look of South Carolina. This is courtesy of our partners, EarthCam. The wind's starting to pick up there. You can see those palm trees whipping in the wind. Hurricane Idalia now in Georgia, and as we've said, heading towards the Carolinas. Meteorologist Cheetah Craft joining us. So what impacts are those states facing up the coastline there?
Yeah, it's interesting. So what's going to happen is Idalia is going to shift as it continues to, I'm going to use the word race. I mean, it is moving at 20 miles per hour in a north-northeast direction. And now notice how it's moving into central eastern Georgia, and now portions of even South Carolina getting hit with those outermost bands, and even into North Carolina as well. So over the next, I would say 4 or 5 hours, we will be monitoring this for the severe weather. Potentially tornadoes are very possible east of here, and that could be the case right through the Carolinas as well. Now, Category 1 hurricane right now, remember, it made landfall as a Cat 3, but actually briefly this morning from 4 a.m. through 6 a.m. it was a Category 4 hurricane. At peak winds, it had maximum sustained winds at 135. Right now it's at 80 miles per hour. Now, tides are also going to play a big role in the west coast there of Florida. We will talk more about these king tides coming up in just a little bit. Sherman, I'll send it back to you.
All right, thanks, Cheetah.